Hey guys, we're back live in the shop working on the Ford Transit. Putting in Havelock wool now. I went through and we'll just hop in the van. So today we've been working on cleaning up the trim right here in this section of the van. Off camera I drilled these holes. They were really difficult to drill because of the steel that Ford uses on this upper section. So it takes about 2 drill bits to get through here. You need a drill bit sharpener because it's going to dull almost each one instantly. So one to open up the hole initially. If you can get a solid carbide drill bit, get it. They actually do make those. It's not a carbide tipped, it's a solid carbide. So do that and then get one that you're fine with like messing up, and then you can just get it. Anyway, I did that, and then I used this drill adapter. So this is on the DIY van build cheat sheet. It's called the Astro Pneumatic XL rivet nut drill adapter. It's got a bunch of different sizes. Anyway, you put the rivet on there, you drill it in, and this compresses it and squeezes it in. And then you have 4 threaded holes. So this is going to be supporting a shelf that we have over here on the kitchen galley. We're going to do that. We'll build that later. Now we're going to move over here to the right-hand side, and we're getting ready to upholster the right-hand side. So we need to. We're wrapping up a bunch of stuff on this van. So this is all the little details. So this will look like this side, like that. So see how that's all nice and neat and finished? So now we're just kind of making our way over here. Yeah, so working on that today. Got a big old box of Havelock wool. And we're going to be stuffing the top, we're going to be stuffing the bottom. When we get to the bottom, though, we're going to need to do more sound deadening. And then we'll put the insulation in, and then we'll just kind of go from there. All right, so yeah, we'll get started. If you guys have any questions, you can put those in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. So I'm gonna have a little mask on because it gets really dusty. One thing I use is just for this side over here, I use a coat hanger. And that's going to help me get it down into these spots. So I've already stuffed all the Havelock down here. And there's a little opening right here. And I've stuffed the Havelock down in here. So let me move this camera a little bit wider. Yeah, so in a Ford Transit, there's one little hole here that you can stuff down this way. Here to here is its own chamber. So this actually goes down into there, if you guys are wondering. So this is the point where you want to make sure that if you're going to do any type of wiring, go ahead and finish that up, so that you can start to stuff this cavity. And so I'm cutting this into manageable strips. And then I just want to feel with my hands how I stuff it in there. I don't want to smush it. You want the Havelock to be lofted, almost like a goose down jacket. You know, one of those jackets you take hiking. because the loft or the air space, that's how insulation works. It's like you're essentially slowing down the movement of air. So see, I just lightly put it in there. I don't want to force it. That's why using a bunch of small pieces works really well. And again, so it's going from here to here, just like that. Yeah, so see, I can't do any more. So we pretty much just go like that until you can't get any more in there. And I'm just using a pair of really nice scissors to get this in here. All right. And now we'll have to go to this left side. So this one, we'll take our coat hanger. Actually, a skinny piece of PVC pipe is the best tool to use. I cleaned up the shop one day and I threw away. I threw a piece away. I have no idea why I did that. So, also a piece of PEX pipe if you have some spare. I think I was just cleaning the shop up and I don't know. It looked like it wasn't going to anything, so I just tossed it. But yeah, piece of PEX pipe or like a 1/2-inch PVC pipe is perfect for this because it's kind of bendy. Now be careful, this will cut you. Let's see, we're just taking it and lightly putting it in there. We don't want to, that's it. Name of the game is don't stuff it. Well, we're stuffing it, but not forcefully. And I like to kind of pull it through this hole like that just a little bit so that when the panel comes on, it kind of squishes it. Because, again, we want to slow the air transfer. It's like the main goal of this stuff. So I think maybe this could hold 2 or 3 more pieces. That might be it. So just to give you an idea, we put two of these. 2 whole of these bats have been put into this one chamber. Just to give you an idea of how much is going in there. Now, this is not a sponsored video, but Havelock has a calculator on their website, and it will help you determine, you know, if you have a high roof, mid roof, low roof, sprinter. They'll help you find out how much you need. So I think we got four boxes. Okay. So 2.5. We did 2.5 bats. So if we put this one in, it would have been 3. If you guys are wondering, see this. I'm gonna put a little piece up there. And this is how I protect the wires from chafing on the inside of this thing right here. This black wire is actually the reverse camera from the Wolfbox system. Really cool, but really challenging to get wired through the van because of you have to finagle it through the waterproof housing on the back of the door if you're really trying to make it operate or be as waterproof as possible. We just got one more back here. This is just a small piece like that. All right, so that is all good. So now we're going to get a piece of fabric, and this body line is our transition piece. So if you have a wall panel, get a permanent marker here. By the way, if you guys are new to the channel or watching right now, this is Van Builder HQ's YouTube channel. So this is the channel that I teach you how to build a van. And then for my customers, so this is John and Susan's van, OdysseyCustomVans.com. That's my business to do the van conversion. So Odyssey Custom Vans is this van, and Van Builder HQ films it, or me, to teach you. So if you want to get your van DIY'd, follow me. And then the joke is, if you give up, you can call me and I'll build your van for you. But make sure you guys are definitely subscribed to the channel and turn that notification bell, because I go live random throughout the day, maybe once or twice. And love for you guys to get notified, so if you have a question, I can answer it on the live stream. All right, so after that little plug, let's get back to this. So I've got a permanent marker. And so here is your wall panel. So for example, this panel is going to go right here. So in this van, it's easy because we have a body line. But imagine we didn't have one. What you want to do is just take your permanent marker and then just make a mark here on the wall. And it doesn't have to be anything pretty or anything like that. You just need to identify how much room up here and then down here, that's this gap of fabric that you want to run. Now right here, I'm going to stop it at this bolt, and then I'm going to stop it here because obviously, you know, it's not going to be able to go past. We don't want to get this all stuck with fabric stuff anyway. So yeah, we're going to do that. And so this section, so we cut a piece about as high as my marker. That's all we need. This width is too long for a standard piece of fabric. So what we're going to have to do is actually, we're going to cut a smaller one, and then we'll go back and then we'll find a longer piece to use. Throughout this upholstery process, you're going to have extra pieces of fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to use these two pieces, these offcuts from today. And so I'm going to cut a piece, let's see here. I'm going to go cut this out of the way so I won't forget to do that. So we'll start there, and what I like to do is, some people like to fold this and then glue it over that, like as a seam. I don't like to do that. I'll go make this a super sharp 90-degree cut with extra adhesive, and then I'll just adhese this over. Keep in mind, this is covering up the gap between the two panels. So when we have our overhead panel that we'll be putting in a little bit, that panel comes over this. So basically 1/4 of an inch is all we're going for. I just use a bigger piece of fabric because I just like to cover this up. It's, you know, it's hard to say that it actually is going to help with insulation, but I think it does help with sound just a little bit. Okay, so where did our big piece go? So let's take this big piece. So this big piece is going to take us from this back corner of the van almost right there. So we almost made it. I'm going to cut this, spray it with some adhesive, and then we'll be right back in the van. Again, if you guys have questions, feel free to ask away. I'll stop and answer then well, I'll pause and answer them. All right, we're just gonna spray some adhesive on here. I'll be back in the van in just a second. So don't go anywhere. Okay, all we gotta do is wait about a minute. And then we can bring this into the van. It's been a couple seconds. So the side that is not a straight edge, we're gonna keep on the left side. And then we'll do the other one on the right side. Get rid of some of this tape here. Okay. We'll take our square even side, and we'll just start it all the way in this corner over here, making sure that we're low enough to cover what we wanted to cover. Just don't want to cover these holes down here because that'll be a pain in the butt to get those open back up. All right. Again, we're only going to see about a quarter inch of this, but this just helps it so, you know, it's not moving or anything like that. Now we're going to take that shorter piece of fabric and we're just going to cut enough to overhang here about an inch. So something like that. So I use a square for doing that. I'll have to set up another camera over here next time. All right, so we'll cut this nice and straight, and then we'll cut another piece nice and straight. If you guys are wondering what I use to spray the adhesive on so I don't get a mess over my workbench, I'm just using a piece of old XPS foam that I use for the floor, and then throughout the day I just use it, and then overnight it'll dry hard, and that way it's not sticky the next day when I do my additional upholstery. I know you can't see it now, but I might show it to you in another video. Okay, here we go. We're coming back inside. Okay, here's our little panel. So we need to wait a minute so this can flash off gas, whatever you want to call it. So you know when it's ready is when, so it's not ready yet. So it's when your glove or finger sticks to it, but it doesn't mess up the adhesive. So usually about a solid minute. Okay, getting closer. Okay, full, should be good right now. And so what I do is we need to come over here. So that's where we're going to start. And we don't want to come in too far because our panel line comes here. So we just want to be right on the edge just so we have something to kind of seal that Havelock that we put in there. So something like that. So our panel comes over and then down, so this should be right here where we need it. Let's see. So I should have made this one longer. Let's find out. Let's see where this other piece ends. Okay, no, that was right. That was right. So our next piece, it needs to conceal this gap. So all right, maybe with the camera. So this is the next section. This is actually going to be the last panel that goes in the van, but right now we need to plan for this side. So I'm just trying to see where when we get there, we just need to find out where this panel is going to actually end up going. All right, so it looks like right there. So let's just mark that with some tape. So our line is right here. Okay. So we just need a piece of fabric that's going to go from here down. And then we'll take another piece of fabric and we're going to go all along this piece of stainless all the way on the top. And that conceals our transition between the cedar ceiling. So when we get done with this ceiling, for example, we'll have a piece that comes up and locks in there like that. And so this reveal is what we're trying to clean up. So we'll clean that up. And then when we upholster this panel and that one, just nice and straightforward. So I've got a nice clean edge on the bottom of this. So what I'm going to do is just eyeball a piece right there. Okay, while that one's drying, I'm going to cut a piece of fabric for the ceiling. So this one is going to be so we need to cover probably that much. We're going to cut 2 of these. All we need to do on these ends is just make sure they're straight. It doesn't really matter how tall they are. All right, so multitasking. We got our piece that we just finished here. So this one we'll put up just like this. Again, it doesn't need to be this big. It's just, it's not carpeting more of the, or putting more fabric on the van only helps with the sound. So next, we're going to get these two long pieces. All right, I'm gonna try to remove this live stream rig without disconnecting. So wish me luck. I just want to give you guys a view of me working over here on the other side of the shop. All right. Hopefully the lighting, you guys probably don't care, but all right, let's see if this works. All right, we're moved over here. It's not the best, but I'm cutting over here and I'm gluing over here. So this might give you an idea. So this is the board that I'm using. So it's just normal insulation board, as you can see. And then this stuff is dried from yesterday. I'm kind of working over here. The worst thing you can do is get adhesive on the back. That should be pretty obvious. So what I do is I just drape this over. And so these are my two long panels that I'm going to use on the top of the van. If you guys are just joining, we're using Super 77 from 3M. Get some ventilation going on. The most important thing is you want to get that adhesive on the edges really well. Okay, so now we can take this and we can flip it. And we'll probably go over here. So don't let this fall on itself because you'll have to redo it. That's the nicest way I can say it. Now, I've got a lot of practice spraying this, so I'm much closer than you probably should be. So this is good. What you don't want to have is these kind of wet spots. You just need to let it dry fast longer, but that's what will happen if you kind of go over double do it too quick. But by being close like this, I can do one pass instead of having to do like 2 or 3 passes. It just takes less time. All right, so we'll wait a minute, then we'll hop back in the van, and then we can move on to our next part of the van. So now is when would be a great time to ask a question, if you guys have a question. So you can just touch it. That's pretty good. So let's see, it doesn't matter which one we choose. Let's just pick this one. And we'll head back in the van. Camera got moved. There we go. All right, we're going to start from the right. Go to the left. We want to have this right one all the way to the corner, covering that metal for sure. Okay. These are good areas to practice upholstery in the van because, you know, if you mess up, it's really not. This is not a make or break area. Let's see. So I got a little ahead of myself. We need to make sure we remove. We need to remove this screw. We'll replace it when we do the cedar. I need to remove that right now because it's. underneath that. So yeah, we'll have a screw that holds that back down when we get back around to here. All right, let's go over that. Okay, so that is how you help to make a seamless transition. So now we got one more transition that's going to go from here all the way to the end. It actually might not make it. I think we'll have a piece over here. You'll see why here in just a second. So over here, if it's not going to work, I'll explain why. Oh, here's a perfect example. See how it caught itself? That is what you don't want to have happen. Okay. So over here, this right here is where that the forward blob comes in. And we need the fabric to go past that so you don't see this white part. So we're going to start here and then go back. And then whatever's left, we'll do a seam. A seamed piece. Okay, this one's going to be really tricky here. Because this one I actually need to put it underneath the Okay, we're just going to lightly put it over here. We're going to have to move it. So this actually, let's see. I need that piece to go under. I need this piece to go under that piece. Yeah, so stuff like this is difficult because I need this to be able to pull down so I can put that forward blob in here. So I'm looking to where I can continue this, but I need to stop this. So it looks like right here is where I need to make my cut. And then just transition. There we go. All right. Yeah, so now I can still move this right here. I can still bend this down to get that piece under there, and then I can get my cedar to come across here and still do what it was planning on doing. And I gotta come in here and take that screw out. If you don't remove these screws that you used to support the ceiling, you may not be doing this in your case, but it puts a bend in the cedar if you're doing a sleeve ceiling like that. It won't sit flush. And that's not a big deal because we have these rows of blackhead screws that are going to hold all this together when we get back to it. All right, now we can just go through, get back to what we were doing. All right, they went a little bit lower than I wanted it to, but when we have this in here, let's just do a test piece real quick. This is a terrible test piece, but yeah, we're good. We're good. We'll see about here. Okay, we're still good. Okay, so we just got a little tiny spot right here that we need to knock out. Then we'll move on to the next step. So you guys can see how those kind of areas are challenging when you get to them. When I have a small piece, I'll just fold this down or lay this down, and I'll just do a small piece. Small pieces are nice because if you have that one can where there's just barely enough stuff left in it, it's a good spot to use the rest of the can on before you throw it away. All right, how we doing? Got a couple people watching. If you guys have any questions, put those in the chat box and I'll be happy to answer them. Also, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. I go live randomly throughout the day, so I don't want you to miss a live stream where you guys can ask questions. We're doing upholstery, which is pretty obvious. We're getting all these final things knocked out because on the inside of the van here, this is the last step before we start putting these upholstered panels on. So if we go to the driver's side of the van, you can see we've already got these panels in, and you can see where that transition was. So we've got that transition here. If we come on down, you see where the seam is. So this just keeps everything nice and neat. So this side over here will become that side. Now this is our control panel area. So we're not going to be, what am I trying to say? This area will not, I can't think today. This area will be the last area that gets a panel because we got to put the EcoFlow panel on here. We've got the Webasto controller, all that good stuff. So that will go here later. So next, we're just finalizing this right here. Get that one piece on. Yeah, but I'm gonna find another stopping point here in just a little bit. So I can work on some stuff off camera. All right, so this part right here, fairly easy. Again, this piece is a little bigger than you need it, but it's okay. So the important piece with these seam pieces, in my opinion, is get a lot of adhesive on that edge. And it really cleans up that transition. So I think it makes it really, really clean. All right, where else do I want to get to on this live stream? Yeah, the next step is I need to take this panel So this panel has these holes in it, and they're from ABC Rig. So they actually have, I think they have a shelf that goes up here, but we're doing a lower one, something that's more usable. But these holes, they put rivets in. We put 4 riv nuts here. So what I'll do later is I'm going to go and I'm going to transfer those holes to this back side. And that will do 2 things. One, it's going to hold the bottom part of my panel in, and we'll just screws up here. But what it's also going to do is that'll be my place so that when I build this little mini shelf, we'll bolt it to the wall. But then you can see here that seam, we've got that all nice and covered up. These will be butting together. So really we did this so that we could clean up this corner right here, because the panel will come down and then this will be exposed, and then this up here is what is exposed. And then the cedar ceiling will only be covering up like that. So that's why that piece is so important. All right, guys, I hate to cut this live stream short, but I got to work on some other cabling and move some stuff around in the van. But yeah, hit that notification bell so that you guys won't miss out another live stream. And definitely go to check out vanbuilderhq.com. We have a bunch of blog posts, and not only that, but I have a free DIY van build cheat sheet. It's essentially an Excel sheet of the last 3 years of all my Amazon purchases for the shop. It's free. It's there to help you out. It's got over 250 items that are organized from solar, electrical, fuses, MC4 connectors, water pump, riv nut drill adapter that I use to put the riv nuts in the van, a bunch of other stuff, and it's completely free. All you gotta do is click on the link in the description below, or I'll actually paste it right now. Let me just grab this link. Yeah, it's free. You guys can check it out. And then the website itself has a bunch of blog posts down here. So you can click on this, like how much solar do I need for my van? And then we got a bunch of topics. Solar panels. That's Thomas's van, so Marine 1, if you guys are interested in checking out his van build. And a bunch of stuff that we looked at from some different shows that we went to. That's actually my power system in my personal van. What actually started this whole thing. So yeah, check it out. All right, guys, that'll be it for this live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.